హలో ఫ్రెండ్స్, వెల్కమ్ టు మనీ పవర్స్. లెట్స్ లెర్న్ సంథింగ్ న్యూ టుడే. మీరు అడిగారు కదండి కార్టెడ్ మేనేజ్మెంట్ మన ఛానల్ వరకు తీసుకొచ్చి ఇంటర్వ్యూ చేశాను. ఐ రియలీ ఎంజాయ్ దిస్ కాన్వర్సేషన్. నాకైతే బాగా అనిపించింది, ఎందుకంటే న్యూ ఇయర్స్ మేనేజ్మెంట్ కదా, వాళ్ళ న్యూ వే ఆఫ్ థింకింగ్, వాళ్ళు ఏవైతే ఐడియాస్ ఉన్నాయో ఇవన్నీ కూడా నాకు బాగా నచ్చింది. అండ్ వాళ్ళు ద వే దే కమ్యూనికేటెడ్ దే బిజినెస్, ఇదంతా బాగా అనిపించింది. ఐ ఎక్స్పెక్ట్ మీకు కూడా బాగానే అనిపిస్తుంది అనుకుంటున్నాను, ఎందుకంటే బికాస్ కాన్వర్సేషన్ అయితే చాలా బాగా జరిగింది. అండ్ మీరు ఒకవేళ ఐపీఓలో ఇన్వెస్ట్ చేస్తారు లేదా ఈ కంపెనీలో ఇన్వెస్ట్ చేస్తారు లేదు, సెకండరీ థింగ్, ఈ కాన్వర్సేషన్ అయితే వినడానికి ప్రయత్నించండి, ఎందుకంటే న్యూ ఇయర్స్ మేనేజ్మెంట్ ఒక థింకింగ్ ఎలా ఉన్నది అన్నది మీకు క్లియర్గా అర్థమవుతుంది. అండ్ ఈ వీడియోలోని మేము ఏదైతే ఎఫర్ట్ పెట్టామో ఆ ఎఫర్ట్ మీకు హెల్ప్ఫుల్ అయింది అనిపిస్తే ఏ పాయింట్ ఆఫ్ టైంలోనూ అప్పుడు వీడియోని లైక్ చేయడానికి ప్రయత్నించండి. ఒకవేళ హెల్ప్ఫుల్ అవ్వలేదు అనిపిస్తే డిస్లైక్ చేసేయండి, పర్లేదు, నో ప్రాబ్లం. అండ్ ఈ కార్టెడ్ మేనేజ్మెంట్ తెలుగు రాదు కాబట్టి వాళ్ళ కాన్వర్సేషన్ మొత్తం ఇంగ్లీష్లోనే ఉంటుంది. మొత్తం ఇంటర్వ్యూ అయిపోయిన తర్వాత తెలుగులోనే నేను మీకు ఏవైతే క్రిటికల్ పాయింట్స్ ఉంటాయో అవన్నీ ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేస్తాను. లెట్ మీ ఇంట్రడ్యూస్ కార్టెడ్ మేనేజ్మెంట్ నౌ. Hello, CarTrade team. First of all, thanks a lot for giving us this opportunity. We have 6 lakh plus subscribers, most of them predominantly investors. I generally tell them to understand company before in detail. Before we get into CarTrade, I wanted to understand your journey, Mr. Vinay. How this CarTrade idea came in? When did this journey started? How was your journey till now?
So sure, just a little background on myself first, like Krishna. You know, my family or my extended family has been in the auto business from the 1920s. They used to first import cars into India, my extended family. And then, I spent a couple of years or few years in the 1990s in my family business. It has dealerships across, and then after that, didn't want to do that. And then started another company before this called Mahindra First Choice, which is an India used car business, a retail used car business. Spent 10 years with Mahindras and HDFC and other shareholders like that as founder, CEO, building it out. And then, with the internet evolving, as people always say, cars is in my blood, right? But with the internet evolving, really started thinking about how we can just simplify car buying or selling for the Indian auto consumer using the internet. It's a very simple business idea, and in 2009-10, I decided to start CarTrade.com. I'll just go a little further ahead, and as I said, the business idea is very simple. It's just how do we simplify car buying or selling for the Indian auto user. And post that, I think what I'll do first, Anisha and Vikram, you want to introduce yourself, then I'll come back to the journey a bit. Is that okay, Sai Krishna?
Yeah, please go ahead. Right. However you want. Someone is using mail. Someone's mail is open, I think. That notifications pops up in the audio.
Maybe
so
Anisha.
Just check it out. If
Anisha, I think it's the WhatsApp pop-up, Anisha. If I'm
whatever.
I'm just switching off everything.
Okay. Vikram, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'll introduce myself. This is, hi, I'm Vikram. I've been with the CarTrade group for about 9.5 years now. I joined them as head of marketing and product, and then ran a business within the organization. Prior to this, I worked with Tata International. I worked with a large digital agency, global digital agency called Digitas. I was also part of the JobsAid team, which is one of the early internet companies, and it got acquired by Monster.com. I work as part of the corporate team right now, and I head strategy for the group. Over to you, Anisha.
Hi, I'm Anisha, and I've been with this organization for more than 5 years now. Prior to this, I had a 9-year stint with Ernst & Young as a statutory auditor. During my audit years, about 3 years, I've audited the CarTrade group. So technically, I've been associated with them for almost 8 years now. That's about it.
So as I said, the business idea is very simple. How do you simplify car buying or selling for the Indian auto user? And we started one side of our business in 2010, which was helping consumers like you and me sell vehicles. As you know, you are already a beneficiary of that since you sold your vehicle on Carvale. So yeah, but the whole first idea of the first part of the business we started was a C2B, B2B platform, helping consumers like you and me sell vehicles, or big businesses sell vehicles. Big business could include banks or NBFC, which have repossessed vehicles, insurance companies, dealers, fleet owners, and buyers on their platform were used car dealers of India or used vehicle dealers of India and fleet owners. So it is a C2B, B2B online exchange. Started with that, built that out. And then in 2012, started to think about how do we help customers like you only buy a car now. First, we focus on selling and then buy a car. And CarTrade.com got launched with used cars so that you could come and select or find a car of your choice. We also built a lot of dealer systems. So all the used car dealers, for all the used car dealers, we built a software system or a dealer management solution. And we felt if dealers use our software to run their business, then we could connect with them real time and provide a lot of services to our customers through that, right? So by 2012, 13, 14, dealers could log into our dealer system, which is called CarTrade Exchange. They could buy vehicles from our C2B, B2B online exchange I talked about. They could sell vehicles on CarTrade.com, and they could use our software to run their business. our inventory manager or CRM tools, etc., etc. And a customer, someone like me or you, could come to CarTrade.com and sell a car or buy a car. So we had, through technology and software, connected all the dots or all the stakeholders of the used vehicle ecosystem by 2012, 13, 14. And then 15, we started thinking about the new car side. And, Carvale was the leading new car platform, and also one of our leading used car competitors. It was owned by a German media publishing company, and we acquired it in January 2016. And then started, by then we had this whole new car side, a used car side where you could come and buy a used car, and a C2B, B2B platform where you could sell your vehicle, or big business could sell their vehicle. All these three were housed. From 2016, our journey really became about growing revenues of the company, monetizing better. We had a lot of customer engagement, traffic, dealers, manufacturers, transactions, and started focusing on monetization. And, at that time, revenue started to grow because of all our platforms. But some of our key costs came down. Marketing costs came down. We had acquired a leading competitor. Some of our people costs came down because we were duplicating many things which we didn't need to do. And by 2018, we became a profitable company, very rare for an internet company in India. But we had customer engagement metrics and also turned profitable by 2018. And then we started talking to Shriram Transport Finance. Shriram Transport Finance, or STFC, is one of India's leading auto financiers, and they had created a subsidiary called Shriram Auto Mall. And Shriram Auto Mall was created by them because they wanted to dispose some of their own repossessed vehicles. So they parked them at these auto malls. We have 114 auto malls now. And then they sold them in an online, offline manner. And over a period of time, they moved from their captive inventory to a lot of other sellers and provided a lot of value to their customers. So we felt we had a C2B, B2B online business. They had this whole online, offline auction business, which was very similar, but had a lot of physical infrastructure as well. So we acquired it in 2018, and we felt now all our online C2B, B2B sellers could get a physical facility to keep vehicles. All their physical vehicles could get our online platform for sale. So it's like a complete strategic fit. And by 2018, we had, now this whole B2C new car side, a B2C used car side, and a C2B, B2B, online, offline business. All profitable, all, growing rapidly. As the RHP shows, the last few years have been, the company's turned, the margins are 20, we have a 27% now, over 27% EBITDA margin. The revenues are growing. We've created now a whole automotive digital ecosystem. So you can come and sell a car, buy a car, or a two-wheeler today. We've also have India's leading two-wheeler platform called Bikewale. Dealers can come and buy vehicles, sell vehicles. Manufacturers can sell vehicles. Insurance companies can sell vehicles. Banks can sell loans, sell vehicles. So our role has become more about creating an automotive digital ecosystem now, where sellers and buyers can come to our platform. And I know that now the data sites, of course, in the RHP, in the last quarter, Jan to March, we got 32 million average monthly unique visitors. It's a massive, massive number. What's more remarkable is 88% of them came organically.
Yeah,
so,
that's...
Yeah, when we put 32 million and 88% together, it's just a massive, massive business. And also it's profitable because 88% come organically, or traffic we don't pay for. So part of that ecosystem is this brand. All these sellers and buyers come to all our consumer platforms, Carvale, CarTrade, Bikewale, etc. Part of it is all the dealers will log in and buy vehicles, sell vehicles. Part of the ecosystem is a software and technology that integrates other stakeholders, like manufacturers, banks, and etc. So that's how the journey's gone, and that's what we've really created.
We are a marketplace, right? We don't carry any inventory with us.
We are a complete marketplace, Sai Krishna. So we actually, on our C2B, B2B platform, someone like you can come and list your vehicle, and dealers will bid for it, or fleet owners will bid for it, and you get the best price. And that's one of the reasons we don't buy or sell or take a position, because we want you to get the best price. Mm-hmm. So we have stayed marketplace, and we believe we provide a lot more value to our customers just because we stayed as a marketplace business.
Okay. Do you have count how many dealers would have registered in CarTrade, Carvale altogether? Do you guys?
The RHP doesn't give us the metrics. Those metrics are not shared. But of course, large number of India's new car, used car dealers are on our platform.
Okay. I have one question. See, what excited me CarTrade after reading RHP is, as you said, it's a profitable thing. When I read, some peers are generating more revenue than us, but they are not able to make profit, whereas we are able to make profit. How are we different? How are we able to do that? What's the recipe of that? Who is behind generating that profit?
Sure. Anisha, you want to take a crack at the whole competition and revenues and profits side?
Sure, Vinay, thank you. So I'll just explain to you. So if you look at the table, I'm sure you're referring to the table which is there in the RHP.
Yeah.
The revenues are actually not at all comparable. The revenue streams are different. The way we account for revenue is different. So some of our competition account for the GMV value of the car as their revenue, which is the value of the car, right? So if a car is bought for 100 and sold for 120, that 120 features in the sales and 100 features in the cost. But that's just one reason. There are multiple reasons why the revenues are not comparable. But if you look at the PAT number which is disclosed in the RHP, this is based on the ROC filing that every company needs to do at the year end, right? And which is why these are FY20 numbers. If you look at FY20 number, CarTrade Tech earned a profit after tax of 31 crores. The adjusted EBITDA on that year was 72 crores. And in that exact same year, the competition managed to burn 700 crores. The companies are very different. So, and I think we've always focused on creating an ecosystem which is addressing every element of buying and selling. Some of our competition, for example, Akash 24 is on the C2B side of the business, which is one element where you see ads, everybody knows about it. Is about when you want to sell the car, which is you are C to B, which is so you're selling the car to them. Or a car deco, on the other hand, has been predominantly on the new car side of the business. So one recipe, as you call it, is because we are focused on the ecosystem, which is to address every element of the ecosystem. It has its own synergies and benefit. The second point is the way our P&L is structured, or the cost is structured. We have two critical costs. One is marketing, one is payroll. Both do not move in the ratio or in the lines of revenue. So marketing, you would see, again, it's a data point in the RHP. Marketing is actually reduced over these years. Our cost of acquisition has actually dropped. It's like 1/5 of what it has been over these years, is because the more your brand is known, the brand affinity, as you call it, again, a data point in the RHP, the brand affinity is so high as compared to the competition that over these years, with lesser spends, we have actually managed to increase our traffic year on year. Similarly, on payroll, I think most of our cost or the payroll cost, be it the product tech team or any sort of cost on the payroll side, none of this really is related to increase in revenue. So with the same amount of the workforce or with marginal increase, so the only increase you see is typically the increment kind of increases, which is year on year, but the revenue is actually multifold as the years go by.
I saw in RHP, you guys gave 1 year Google trend data, right? I have gone and checked 5-year data. I thought 1 year because IPO is coming, many people would have searched. So let me search 5-year. 5-year, maybe I see the same difference. We have the peer group difference is huge. Who needs to give that credit? Vikram did the job because hi, Mr. Vikram. Can you tell me how are we able to create that differentiating factor? Because consumers are searching, right? Google Trend says consumers they themselves are searching for us.
I think the credit goes to the whole team. Actually, I think a lot of people who do this work. I think we are the face of the company today, but there are a lot of people at the back end and the front end who are doing it. A lot of credit goes to the CEO of the Carvalho Group, Mr. Banwari, who runs the business out there. I think our DNA is to give what the consumer wants, right? I think we're always consumer first. I think that is the DNA of the organization. I think all of us out here on this call and everybody in the organization is always focused on the consumer. And as long as you deliver what the consumer wants in the most efficient way, without any friction, consumers will love you for it. And that's the reason I think our Google Trend scores are so good. I think you've taken a 5-year trend. I think if you take a 10-year trend, you'll see that we are, I think, head and shoulders over our competitors. And that's primarily because we are focused on consumer first. We'll always be consumer first. And whatever we do, we keep consumer at the core of our businesses.
One more surprising thing which I saw is Mr. Vikram being a founder of the company. Okay, I saw it's a professionally managed company, not a promoter-driven company. Why did you guys take that call? What is the difference of a founder-driven company and a promoter-driven company? Many investors might not understand this, but I know there will be a significant difference because promoter is promoter. He thinks about himself, whereas founder is something where they manage it professionally. They run the organization professionally. So I wanted to hear that, why this thought has come.
So I'll take that up. We believe that when you start an idea or you create an idea, it may have started as I'm the founder, in 2009-10. But to be honest, a company like this is, everybody is a founder or everybody is an entrepreneur in our company. We've tried to keep an entrepreneurial driven culture. The company is run, of course, we have 50%, just so you know, 50% of our board is independent today. All our key management team obviously owns stock in the company or ESOPs in the company. We've had a culture, if you see, even though it's a founder created, started business, we've tried to keep an entrepreneurial culture in the company. where we just believe every business owner is a founder or a promoter or whatever you call for that business. And the decision maker for that business. Obviously, decision making of an hierarchy of any company is the shareholders first, and then the board and then the management team, right? But really, we've tried to keep a level or try to keep, and we've also made 2 acquisitions. So we try to keep in a culture. I would say one of the core cultures of the organization is an ability to have great processes, but at the same time keep the entrepreneurial spirit across all our employees, right? So it's a bit of that, and I think that's the reason we call it more a founder created business, but professionally run business today.
That's fantastic. The next question is, where does CarTrade makes money? I saw the breakup. We started making decent money from our Sriram Auto Mall and other businesses as well. I wanted to know the detail and where does we earn more money?
I can give you our revenues where they come from. We have 2 distinct businesses, I told you. One's our C2B, B2B business, where you can sell a vehicle and big businesses buy, or big businesses can sell and dealers and fleet owners can buy. And we have a transaction fees there where it's like an exchange. We charge sellers and buyer take rate transaction fee. That's one part of our business. The second part of the business is, when you come to our platform and a Carvale, or you search for a new car, used car, you do all your research work, which is comparing features, specifications, reviews, photographs, what other users think, whatever information you want the car, to choose a car, select a car, and then you do work around what price to pay or which dealer should I buy from, and go more into the intent of buying the car. There we monetize today car manufacturer advertising. So all automobile manufacturers advertising there, and that market in India is about $1.8 billion as per the industry report. And we also monetize dealers for lead generation and advertising. So that's our revenue stream. So we have 2 distinct revenue streams. One is our C2B, B2B transaction fees, and then car manufacturer and dealer lead generation and advertising fees are our 2 distinct revenues. Both are profitable, as you can see from the RHP. But our monies come from here. There's tremendous headroom to grow in both our businesses, both these revenue streams. Of course, there are a lot of other revenue streams in the future which we want to focus on. Auto financing is something we believe in the future about, car servicing, car insurance, to software services. We are an ecosystem play. So we are trying to expand on many other services in the future as well. Taking advantage of all these 30 million customers who come here and what product services they want, or the technology and software we have created. We want to leverage that and get into new areas of our business for the future. But our current revenue sources are the C2B, B2B transaction fees and the advertising revenues get from car manufacturers and car dealers.
This auto financing, do we provide finance or we provide a platform for the NBFCs and charge commission?
So the way it works today is if you come to our platform and you find a car, select a car, we take your data, hit a credit bureau, take the credit score from a credit bureau, take your data, take your credit score, and we've linked up with multiple banks, all the bigger banks in India, from whom we've converted a lot of their physical approval methods into what we call an electronic business rule engine. So they can apply a score, apply our data against that rule engine and give it back an approval in a minute. So we don't take a risk on it or a liability on it, but we already provide a platform for all these banks to give customers to the 30 million, to give loans. All these banks to give loans to the 30 million customers who come to our platform.
Okay. And last couple of years, we saw social media, there is some trending topic that millennials are not acquiring assets. They are not intended to acquire assets. Do you really see that happening? And what's the growth prospects for CarTrade?
No, we don't. Honestly, I've never seen that prospect and I never will believe that prospect. See, car ownership is a very big thing for anybody in the world, not just in India. Anybody believes in life, generally, they arrive and they buy a car. I mean, that's the emotional side of it. But more than that, it's a utility you need, right? So it's never been the case. In fact, even a year and a half, 2 years ago, pre-COVID, auto sales were an all-time high globally. And just to give you some Indian context, India only has 22 cars per 1,000 people as per the RHP. So you got to remember that the headroom to grow is enormous. I mean, the population of cars or the penetration of cars for the population is just barely begun in India. You will have a long-term growth for the auto industry in India. And we all believe that. And that's also necessary for the growth of India, I would say. So very, very bullish on the prospects of the auto industry by itself. And of course, CarTrade, Carvale within, or Sriram Auto Mall within that, of course. COVID has actually had an additional benefit, which is what's happened is because of low touch, one is digitization has gone up in the auto industry. Consumers are more digital savvy and they want to do a lot of the needs of buying a car, selling a car, owning a car digitally. On top of it, they want to own more cars because they find that ride sharing or taxi sharing or going to public transport has got its own risks now. So ownership patterns have gone up, and therefore you've seen car sales also grow over the last 6 to 9 months. So that's another impact which is taking place. But we believe that everyone in India and everyone in the world, one of the aspirational things or one of the things they want to do always is own their own car.
What's the moat of this business?
Anisha, you want to take that up?
So there are various modes to the business, right? I think one is, like you said, I think the whole the brand affinity that we have is something that is unparalleled. I mean, I think the brand affinity is something that we take pride in, and we work continuously to work on the products, to work on how we get the customer experience that, the best that is ever possible. That is one side of it. The other is, I think there is nothing called as online offline anymore. We like to call it phygital, and we have the perfect match and the blend of the online platform and the physical presence. Across our auto malls, we have about 114 auto malls pan India, which covers about 90 cities. So I think the coverage that we have is again defendable, and I think cannot be matched. I mean, it's difficult for someone to replicate this kind of model. Plus, I think it's our DNA. I think this question does come to us time and again of how we stay profitable, and is it just a temporary phase? But the fact is, this has been our DNA. I think we would always create businesses which are sustainable, not working on a subsidy model, which is temporary in nature. I think the idea is to always create something which can last forever by adding value to the customers and taking care of our partners, which is the dealers, the OEMs, all of it. So I think the holistic approach that we've always taken is another core feature or nature of the company by itself. When if you would like to add something.
Yeah, I just want to add one more thing, that there's also a moat which is created in our businesses around our platform itself. It's called network effects, right? What happens is when you have a lot of buyers on the platform and a lot of sellers, the more sellers you have, the more buyers come, the more buyers come, the more sellers come. And it's typical to an internet marketplace, really. After a certain while, when you have 30 million customers and so many dealers and manufacturers, everybody on the same ecosystem, it becomes defensible by itself because they feed off each other. One brings the other, right? And I think that's another moat in the business. The technology software we've created, which goes into all our stakeholders, is also a moat in the business. There are many, many moats. Like I could say the team is a moat, the management team is a moat. I mean, how do you replicate a team or a quality of team, which we have in across the company, right? So we just believe there are many moats, and we are trying to create new moats every day. That also, let me tell you, we're not resting and saying, listen, this is it. The day we think that, listen, we've created all the moats and we are not vulnerable, we will be vulnerable. So every day our product tech teams, all of us sit awake, working so that we create more and more reasons for customers to come to us, more and more reasons for consumers to come to CarWale, CarTrade, buy quality, every platform of ours, right? And by then creating more and more moats, right, automatically.
There is some argument in market that internet-based business can be like there is no entry barriers. Anybody can start an internet-based business and they can disrupt. What's your argument on that?
Vikram, you want to take this on?
I don't think that is really true. I think I've been part of two internet businesses already, once in jobsite.com in I think the late 2000 and right now in CarTrade and CarWale. I think internet businesses are very tough inherently. You need to build scale, you need to build moats, you need to have a network effect, you need to have strong brand affinity, brand equity, customers need to love you, your ecosystem players need to love you. I think creating a website is easy, but building all the elements of the ecosystem is extremely tough. It takes years and years to build a business up. I think we've spent X years in this business. I think there's many more years to go for us to reach our true full potential. So I think internet businesses from the outside look very easy to start. I think it's an extremely competitive, tough business where you have to give world-class services, world-class technology at Indian cost to Indian customers. I think that's an extremely challenging activity. We've managed to do it so far. We will continue to do it in the future as well. But I think it's a very tough business to be in. Anyway.
Just one thing to add there. I think something that he only brought it up, right? When you looked at for the last 5 years trend and last 10 years trend, though it is an internet-based company, nobody could break that one trend. So you can imagine the rest of the business too.
Exactly. I think that's very well said, Anisha. The trends for how many years nobody will break it. So it shows you how defensible and that the moat itself is.
My last question is, if some investor want to invest in a CarTrade for a longer period, why should they invest?
Yeah. So, to me, any investor, when it looks at the CarTrade Tech Group or CarWale, BikeWale, Shriram, all our platforms put together today, got to believe 2-3 things, right? Which is what we stand for. One is they got to believe we have the right foundation today after 10 or 11 years of the company, which means we have the right brand affinity. We got the right technology software, which interlinks all shareholders on this, all stakeholders on this ecosystem. and we have the right data to provide insight to all our customers and ourselves, right? To run this business better. We believe we have the right brand, technology, and data, right? Number one. Number two, they've got to believe that having got the right brand, number of customers, 30 million customers, the right stakeholders, and the right data, we have the right strategy to execute for the next 10 to 15 years, right? And again, we can use our strengths, right? For example, today we have a leadership position maybe on the new car side, the used car side, the remarketing side. But there are multiple opportunities in the ecosystem tomorrow: financing, to insurance, to car repairs, to software services, to new emerging trends, even things like electric vehicles, leasing. So much potential. Our strategy for the future is to use our strengths of brand, technology, and data, and not only grow our core new car, used car remarketing business for the many years to come, because the market to grow there's a limitless, TAM, as we call it, right? $14 billion revenue opportunity as per the RHP in TAM. But also they have to believe we have the ability, the capability, the skill set to go across all the value-added services as well. So we have a two-pronged strategy. One is grow organic businesses, new cars, used cars, remarketing, but also go after all the value-added, because we have the customers, the 30 million customers, for financing, insurance, services, software, franchising, to all the new age businesses. So it's I would take that 2-3 things. I would say we've got the foundation, and we've got the strategy for the next 10 to 15 years to execute to. I think the last part is the target, something we've not talked about, the TAM, right? Which is the size of market. It is just a massive opportunity. The auto industry in India, as the slide shows and the RHP shows, there's $14 billion of revenue opportunity. If we're able to execute our strategy of growing our business organically and look at all the value-added services, for 15 years, we'll have a limitless opportunity to grow.
Thanks a lot, CarTrade team. First of all, my thanks is not for the interview which you have given, the solution which you are providing, because you are reducing a lot of complication. I remember in my IPO video, I shared one of my experience 10 years back with my viewers. You are providing amazing solution, and I wish you guys create superior wealth to investors. And I wish you all the best for the IPO.
Thank you, Sai Krishna. Thank you for the interview, and thank you for spending the time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Really nice talking to you. Thank you. Have a nice day.
CarTrade మేనేజ్మెంట్ ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేసిన పాయింట్స్లో కొన్ని కీ పాయింట్స్ అని నేను మీకు ఇప్పుడు తెలుగులో ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేస్తాను. బేసికలీ చాలా పాయింట్స్ మన ఐపీఓ వీడియోలో కవర్ చేస్తాను, సో అందుకని రిపీట్ అవుతుంది కాబట్టి నేను వాటిని కవర్ చేయట్లేదు. మీరు ఒకవేళ అర్థం అవునట్టయితే మన ఐపీఓ వీడియో చూసినట్టయితే మీకు మోస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ద డేటా దొరుకుతుంది. సో ఓన్లీ కీ పాయింట్స్ మాత్రం నేను ఇప్పుడు మీకు తెలుగులో కన్వర్ట్ చేసి ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేస్తాను. సో వినయ్ గారు తన జర్నీ గురించి మాట్లాడుతూ, మా ఫ్యామిలీ, ఎక్స్టెండెడ్ ఫ్యామిలీకి ఆటోమొబైల్ ఇండస్ట్రీతో 1920 నుంచి కనెక్ట్ ఉన్నది, అప్పటి నుంచి రిలేషన్ ఉన్నది. సో నా బ్లడ్లోనే ఆటోమొబైల్ ఇండస్ట్రీ ఉన్నది, కార్స్ ఉన్నాయి. అండ్ టెక్నాలజీ ఎప్పుడైతే పికప్ అవుతుందో అప్పుడు టెక్నాలజీ ప్లాట్ఫామ్ బిల్డ్ చేద్దామని ఐ స్టార్టెడ్ దిస్ ప్లాట్ఫామ్ అని ఆయన జర్నీ గురించి ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేశారు. నెక్స్ట్ నేను మీది మార్కెట్ ప్లేసే కదా, మీ దగ్గర ఇన్వెంటరీ ఏమి ఉండదు అని అడిగిన క్వశ్చన్కి వాళ్ళు ఏమి ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేశారంటే మాది కంప్లీట్లీ మార్కెట్ ప్లేస్, మా దగ్గర ఇన్వెంటరీ ఏమి ఉండదు. సో ఇట్ ఈస్ అసెట్ లైట్ బిజినెస్ మోడల్ క్లియర్గా ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేశారు. నెక్స్ట్ పీర్ గ్రూప్ కంపెనీస్ కంపేర్ చేసినప్పుడు కొన్ని కంపెనీస్ రెవెన్యూస్ ఎక్కువ జనరేట్ చేస్తున్నాయి మీకన్నా, బట్ కానీ వాళ్ళు లాసెస్ జనరేట్ చేస్తున్నారు, వెరస్ మీరు ప్రాఫిట్స్ జనరేట్ చేస్తున్నారు. ఎలా చేస్తున్నారు అని అడిగిన క్వశ్చన్కి అనీష గారు ఏం చెప్తున్నారంటే, చాలా మంది కొన్ని కంపెనీస్ అయితే జిఎంవి వాల్యూ తీసుకుంటారు. వాళ్ళు ఏంటంటే వాళ్ళకి వచ్చిన ప్రాఫిట్ మాత్రం కాకుండా కార్ వాల్యూ ఏదైతే ఉంటుందో, సేల్ అయిన వాల్యూ ఏదైతే ఉంటుందో ఆ జిఎంవి వాల్యూ తీసుకున్నారు. దానివల్ల మీకు రెవెన్యూస్లో అంత డిస్టింక్ట్ డిఫరెన్స్ కనబడుతుంది, బట్ అదర్వైజ్ అంత డిస్టింక్ట్ డిఫరెన్స్ ఉండదు. అండ్ మాకు ప్రాఫిట్స్ రావడానికి మేజర్ కారణం మేము ఆటోమొబైల్ ఒక కంప్లీట్ వాల్యూ చైన్ ఏదైతే ఉంటుందో వాల్యూ చైన్లో కొన్ని కంపెనీస్ ఏమో బేసికలీ కొత్త కార్లను మాత్రమే సేల్ చేస్తాయి, కొన్ని కంపెనీస్ ఏమో వాళ్ళు వెహికల్ని బై చేసేసి దాని తర్వాత డీలర్స్కి సేల్ చేస్తుంటారు. వేరేస్ మేము అన్ని రకాల సొల్యూషన్స్ ప్రొవైడ్ చేస్తున్నాం. అండ్ అలాగే మా డిఎన్ఏలోనే ప్రాఫిట్ అన్నది ఉన్నది, మేము ప్రాఫిట్ జనరేట్ చేయాలని చెప్పి మేము మైండ్ సెట్ అలా ఉన్నది కంపెనీది, కాబట్టి మేము ప్రాఫిట్ జనరేట్ చేయగలుగుతున్నాం అని చెప్తున్నారు. అండ్ ఫౌండర్ లెడ్ కంపెనీ, ప్రమోటర్ లెడ్ కంపెనీ ఒక డిఫరెన్స్ గురించి అడిగినప్పుడు వాళ్ళు ఏం చెప్పారంటే, బేసికలీ ఎవ్రీబడి ఈజ్ ఏ ఫౌండర్ కంపెనీలోని, ఎందుకంటే బికాస్ ప్రతి ఒక్కరు ఏదో ఒక ఇన్నోవేషన్ తీసుకొస్తారు కదా. కంపెనీలో ఆ ఎంటర్ప్రెనర్ కల్చర్ అండ్ ఫౌండర్ కల్చర్ తీసుకురావడం గురించి అని చెప్పి ప్రమోటర్ కాకుండా వీ కాల్ ఇట్ యాజ్ ఎ ఫౌండర్ లెడ్ కంపెనీ అండ్ దేర్ ఇస్ నో ప్రమోటర్స్ అని చెప్పి. సో వీ ట్రీట్ ఎవ్రీ ఎంప్లాయీ యాజ్ ఏ ఎంటర్ప్రెనర్, ఎవ్రీ ఎంప్లాయీ యాజ్ ఏ ప్రమోటర్ ఆఫ్ ద కంపెనీ. అండ్ చాలా వరకు మెజారిటీ ఆఫ్ ది మేనేజ్మెంట్ దగ్గర ఈసాప్స్ ఉన్నాయి కాబట్టి వాళ్ళు షేర్ హోల్డర్స్ కూడా, సో దే ఫీల్ ఇట్ ఈస్ దేర్ ఓన్ కంపెనీ అని వర్క్ చేస్తారు. సో అందుకని వీ రన్ కంపెనీ ఇన్ దిస్ న్యూ వే అని ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేస్తారు. నాకైతే ఇది బాగా నచ్చింది ఈ పాయింట్, ఎందుకంటే బికాస్ దట్స్ వెన్ ప్రొఫెషనలిజం కమ్స్ ఇన్. నార్మల్లీ ప్రమోటర్స్ అన్నప్పుడు జనరలీ ఏమవుతుందంటే, ఇఫ్ ఐఎమ్ ఏ ప్రమోటర్, ఐ జనరలీ టేక్ నాకు ఏదైతే బెనిఫిట్ వస్తుందో అలాంటి కాల్లే తీసుకోవడానికి ప్రయత్నిస్తుంటాను. వేరేజ్ అక్కడ ప్రమోటరే లేరు అనుకోండి, ప్రమోటర్ లేనప్పుడు అలాంటి కాల్స్ తీసుకోవడానికి అవ్వదు కదా. అండ్ ఎవ్రీబడి వర్క్స్ ఇన్ ఎ ప్రొఫెషనల్ వే, సో ఎవ్రీబడి కంపెనీ గోల్ ఏదైతే ఉంటుందో ఆ గోల్ కంపెనీని గ్రో చేయడానికి అలైన్గా వర్క్ చేస్తారు. దట్ పాయింట్ ఐ రియలీ లైక్ ఇట్. నేను లాస్ట్ క్వశ్చన్ కింద ఎవరైనా ఇన్వెస్టర్ మీ CarTrade.com ఎందుకు ఇన్వెస్ట్ చేయాలని అడిగిన క్వశ్చన్కి మేనేజ్మెంట్ ఏం చెప్తుందంటే మన ఇండియాలో స్టాటిస్టిక్స్ బట్టి చూసినట్టయితే 1000 మందికిలోని 22 మంది దగ్గరే కార్ ఉన్నది. సో కార్లు నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ కార్లు పెరగాల్సిన స్కోప్ అయితే చాలా ఉన్నది. సో ఆటోమొబైల్ ఇండస్ట్రీ అయితే బాగా గ్రో అవుతుంది. ఇండస్ట్రీతో పాటు మేము కూడా బాగా గ్రో అవుతాం. మా దగ్గర మంచి టెక్నాలజీ ప్లాట్ఫామ్ ఉన్నది, డేటా ఉన్నది. మేము ఆఫర్ చేసే సర్వీసెస్ ఏవైతే ఉన్నాయో అవి ఆటోమొబైల్ OEMస్కి అండ్ అలాగే కన్జ్యూమర్కి అందరికీ అది హెల్ప్ఫుల్. సొల్యూషన్ ప్రొవైడ్ చేస్తున్నాం. సో సొల్యూషన్ ప్రొవైడ్ చేస్తున్నాం కాబట్టి మా గ్రోత్ రేట్స్ కూడా బాగుంటాయి అని మేనేజ్మెంట్ అయితే ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేస్తుంది. సో దిస్ ఈజ్ ఆల్ అబౌట్ CarTrade మేనేజ్మెంట్ ఇంటర్వ్యూ గైస్. ఇంటర్వ్యూని ఇప్పటివరకు లైక్ చేయనట్టయితే తప్పకుండా లైక్ చేయండి. అండ్ ఈ వీడియో మీ ఫ్రెండ్స్ అండ్ ఫ్యామిలీ మెంబర్స్కి హెల్ప్ఫుల్ అవుతుందంటే వాళ్ళు తప్పకుండా షేర్ చేయండి. అండ్ మీరు ఇదే ఫస్ట్ టైం మన మనీ పర్స్ ఛానల్కి వచ్చి ఛానల్ సబ్స్క్రైబ్ చేయనట్టయితే ఛానల్ సబ్స్క్రైబ్ చేసి పక్కన బెల్ ఐకాన్లో ఆల్ నోటిఫికేషన్స్ యాక్టివేట్ చేసుకోవడానికి ప్రయత్నించండి. అండ్ ఇప్పుడు ఏవైతే కరెంట్లీ IPOs ఆల్రెడీ మార్కెట్లో ఓపెన్ అయి ఉన్నాయి, ఆల్మోస్ట్ అన్ని IPOల మీద మన ఛానల్లో వీడియోస్ రికార్డ్ చేసి అప్లోడ్ చేసాం. ఇక నా చుట్టూ ఉంటే మీరు ఏదైనా వీడియోని చూడనట్టయితే తప్పకుండా చూడడానికి ప్రయత్నించండి. నేనే సాయి కృష్ణ పత్రి మరొక ఇంట్రెస్టింగ్ వీడియోతో కలుస్తాను. టిల్ దెన్ హ్యావ్ ఫన్.